Hello guys and welcome back. Today we're going to talk or revisit the 2 pence cartwheel. Now, in this video we will explore the 1797 United Kingdom 2 pence, also nicknamed the cartwheel. We will look into later in the video about its historical significance in the numismatic lore. Hell yeah. Alright, so what makes this coin so special? Let's find out. So, initially, what was the purpose of this massive coin? What need this coin served economically and practically speaking? Well, to start, there was a shortage in copper coinage. And to alleviate this, private minters and companies, although limited, made their own tokens to fill the gap. And a certain Mr. Bolton, who owned the mint, struck a large numbers of these tokens for these companies. Practically speaking, the reason behind this it was to deter counterfeiters, because counterfeiting was rampant and severe in the late 1700s in the United Kingdom. Now, if you see on the coin here, it has a very particularly raised rim. You can see here, like you can see here on this side. Well, this was, I think, to prevent clipping, but had another practicality. It was to protect the design of the coin, the design of George III and Britannia on the other side, so that the coin would last longer. To protect it from everyday wear and tear. There's also a matter of consistency of each coin, but we will talk about this later. No copper coinage was minted since 1754, and something had to be done. A man that goes by the name of Matthew Bolton submitted this coin to the government and secured the contract. Mr. Bolton had his Soho mint in Handsworth, West Midlands in the United Kingdom since 1788. His mint consisted of eight presses, each capable to strike around 80 coins per minute. It is also to be noted that those machines were steam powered, which is interesting, was very fascinating at the time. So began, in 1797, the production of these 2 pence. Now, the government, in the initial contract, I assume, gave 20 tons of copper to produce these 2 pence. And if I'm not mistaken, they gave him also 420 tons to produce the pennies. Now, these 2 pence and the penny as well were to be struck as an avoir du bois. Basically means that the face value of the coin would be reflected in the amount of the base metal or the intrinsic value of the coin. So 2 ounces of copper was worth around 2 pence. Simple as that. The coin weighed a staggering 56.7 grams, that has to be noted. About 722,000 2 pence coins were minted. Let's take a look at the coin itself and give you an idea how big they are. That's what she said. Well, this is it. Look at how thick the coin is. And it's just a beautiful coin. If we look on the other side, look at that. Look at that design. Just beautiful. Now, this design depicts Britannia, obviously, for the first time with a trident. The trident that we see right here. Yep, that's the first time. And she's also holding an olive branch on the other hand right here. She's seated here on a rock with the waves underneath her right here, and there's a little ship. Heck yeah, a little ship. You can see it right here. Perhaps to emphasize on the dominion Great Britain enjoyed over the seas and abroad. Beautiful design. It's just a fabulous coin. Fabulous coin. All right. Now, as I mentioned earlier, each coin had an intrinsic value equivalent to 2 pence for 56.7 gram. And that's a lot of copper, folks, for one coin. This is absolutely nuts. Because can you imagine how cumbersome it would be to carry a few of them, let alone 5 or 6, in your pockets? That's insane. This is a huge chunk of copper. And I'm not mistaken, you have to tighten your belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. And I think there was a maximum of the equivalent of 1 shilling per transaction that you could do with these 2 pence coin right here. And the sheer amount of copper for each coin created a new problem. Now, eventually, the value of copper went up as a consequence of emerging technologies that required copper at the time. And so the price of copper on the market started to rise, to go up. And as you already deduced, people and merchants started to hoard these coins and melt some of them as well to cash on the money, because the amount of the base metal was worth more than the face value. Simple as that. So a significant amount were melted away and destroyed. But in the numismatic point of view, that's not a bad thing, because lots of coins gained tremendous premiums and it created scarcity, raising their value in the process. Now let's take a look at its technicality. This biblical-sized coin, as I mentioned, so to speak, got a weight of 56.7 grams, or close to 2 ounces of copper, diameter of 41 millimeters, or 1.6 inches, and the edge is a plain one. The obverse, design created, by the way, by a certain Konrad Heinrich Kutschler, is the profile of George III, as we're going to look right here. Beautiful profile. And issued on the rim, we can read George's 3 or 3rd, DJ Rex. Okay, what does that mean? Is by the grace of God, King. So that's the meaning of the lettering on this rim. Now the reverse shows a left-facing seated Britannia holding an olive branch and, as we mentioned, a trident in her left hand. And we're going to take a look at it again because it's so beautiful. It's such an amazing coin. Look at this. And I forgot to mention here, there's the Union Jack shield right here. And if we could take a closer look, we would see Soho somewhere written here. And encursed on the rim is the word Britannia on top, as you see here, and the date at the bottom. That's a beautiful coin. And it's also the biggest ever issued by the United Kingdom. That being said, I think every collector should have at least one of these in their collection. Well, after all, it's technically the first modern coin, the first struck using steam technology. So, it's also introduced the collar. The collar made it round and consistent with a smooth edge. So the collar was introduced with these coins. Now, on a final note, while you're trying to buy one of those, or you're looking on the internet or some groups and you want to acquire one, the most common damage will be on the edge of the coin and on the rims as well. Just to give you an idea, you will see lots of that. See that little deformation here, that little bump? And let me tell you, this is not really pronounced. This is a small one, but you will encounter much larger bumps here. That will you see the deformation of the coin? It will be more pronounced. This one, luckily, it's not really pronounced, but it's there, just to give you an idea of the damage that you can see. Because if you drop this coin on the solid ground, that's what that is bound to happen, because of its base metal and the sheer weight. Another thing you will encounter a lot on these coins is bag marks. You can see there's a lot of it. And another thing, the strike tend to be weak on these coins. So this one is not so bad actually, but lots of them, like the strike, especially on this on the obverse of George III, the strike will be real weak. Just a fun fact before I leave you, before I'm off your hair. I'm minting these coins almost destroyed Mr. Bolton machinery, and it's Soho mint. So, yeah. Well, if you made it that far, I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned about this coin. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. And I'll see you on the next coin.